see on your grind.
Loud welcome for Miss Joy.
Thank you so much. I've been listening to the speakers, and it's just been amazing to see such a wonderful group of women. I have to give an applause to all of you, and maybe applause for yourself, because one, you look fantastic. Everybody in here is dressed. Two, it's nice to hear such amazing stories by a wonderful group of women. I happen to I met Yvonne some years ago. I interviewed Debbie. I featured her before, and we've become friends. And so it's nice to meet these wonderful women who we kind of support each other, inspire each other, and are doing great things. Now, I have to tell a story about Yvonne. We met, actually I will say, the Kardashians brought us together. They had, I don't know if any of you remember their line that was at Sears. I don't know if it's still at Sears. But they came to town, and all I knew was Spoiled Latina. That's all I knew. I saw her on social media, and I didn't know her name, but I was very familiar with what she was doing on social media. And I wasn't sure about the Spoiled Latina name. I thought, okay, why is she calling herself Spoiled Latina? And then we met, and she was a wonderful person. And then I did a style profile on her, and I get a lot of people when I do a style profile, they'll send me a thank you email. And it's always very nice, and that's really about it. Yvonne came to the conference, she brought me a gift, a necklace that I still wear, and she left me a little note, and it said, "Thank you for making a little girl from the valley feel so special." And she said, "My mother is very proud." Now, I don't know where your mother is. Where's your mom?
Somewhere over there.
I just wanted to say hello.
Mom. Mom. Mom.
Job 12 years. I've been a journalist more than 20, and it's nice to see such a beautiful array of color in this city here, right here. I'm one of two black females at the Chronicle in a writing position, two. We're the 6th largest newspaper in the country. There are probably less than 5 Latinos. The Chronicle laid off about 5 more for our Spanish language paper. They laid them off last month. So this is a trying time for the industry, and a trying time for people of color in the industry. So as much as you can say, you know, voice your opinion, speak out loud, say what you need to say, it is very important for all of us. As she said, I'm living a joyful life. Now, I started a journey called the Year of Joy. And Yvonne had me on the panel to talk. And then I got the invitation on Thursday. She's like, "Oh, by the way, you're the keynote speaker." I'm like, "Really, Yvonne?"
She doesn't want to.
And I couldn't say no. But over this last week, I've been thinking about what I wanted to say, and it's been very hard to really focus in light of everything that's been happening this week, and all the violence, all the hate, all the meanness, all the anger. It is very hard to focus on joy and happiness. And I almost felt selfish and petty kind of thinking about this in terms of talking with you all. But I realized this, that finding light in dark is very important as we live our journey. And finding joy in the dark times, in the unhappy times, in the anger is so important as we go on this journey. I'm going to get funny, but this is really important for me to say this. The Year of Joy started at the end of 2015. I was feeling overworked, underpaid, overcommitted, overstressed, and I decided that at the time I was reading Shonda Rhimes. Are you familiar with Shonda Rhimes? She is the most powerful woman on TV. She happens to be African American. She started Scandal, Grey's Anatomy, How to Get Away with Murder. She's a powerhouse. And she wrote a book called Year of Yes. It's a wonderful book if ever you get a chance to read it. I listened to it on audio, which was fit me because she reads it and it's wonderful to hear her voice. But what she was talking about is that even in her, here is the most powerful woman in TV, and she was struggling with a lot of issues. And she was struggling with this balance, trying to find it, which is unattainable. She was struggling to find some sense of purpose, even in her business. Even she is the man. She's the man. And she was trying to find out her purpose. And so she decided, she said that in the book she says that her voice was echoed through the character Christina Yang on Grey's Anatomy. Watch that show? Christina Yang. So everything that Shonda wanted to say and didn't and was too scared to say was echoed in the dialogue of Christina. So Christina became her alter ego. And it got to a point where Shonda decided, you know what, people need to hear my voice. People want to hear me. My voice is powerful enough. I need to start speaking. And what she said is, I need to say yes. I need to start saying yes. So she said, she made up her mind she was going to start saying yes to things. So she started saying yes to speaking in public. She hated speaking in public. She didn't think she was a good speaker. She started saying yes to spending more time with her kids instead of always on her cell phone or email, playing with them. She said yes to losing weight. She had to be a little bit overweight, and she decided that she was really going to work on getting fit. And she said yes to the fact that she never wanted to get married. Even with the pressure in this world that says women have to get married, Shonda, who had adopted 3 kids, decided that she did not want to get married, period. And I read this book, and it was kind of empowering for me. But I realized that my issue was not saying yes, I needed to say no. I needed to say no to a lot of things. But that's a whole other story. What I needed to do is I felt like I needed to find my joy. All the things that make me happy, I wasn't doing. I love to salsa dance. I hadn't salsa danced in 10 years. I love to go for walks with my dogs in the park, but I'm constantly on my phone, checking emails, doing this, sending texts, doing that. I love to fly kites. I have 3, don't judge. Okay. I love my kites. I haven't flown a kite in probably 12. I love to travel, and I do travel, but I have been traveling for work and not for pleasure. And there were all these things that I thought about that I loved to do, and I wasn't doing them. I'm going to have to back this up because really the Year of Joy started about 5 years prior when I almost died twice. And I'm going to just kind of tell the story real quickly. I happen to be at New York Fashion Week, which I go to on a regular. And usually it's a fun time for me. I'm a fashion journalist, a fashion editor. I'm in my element. But I wasn't feeling it at the time. I was feeling tired and drained and worn out and overworked and underpaid and over. And I remember being in Harlem at the Red Rooster restaurant there. I don't know if any of you know that restaurant, but it's wonderful. And I happened to run into Susan Taylor, who is the former editor-in-chief of Essence magazine. And Susan knows me from college. I met her when I was 19 and she came to speak at University of Houston. And I went to the airport to pick her up in my new little red Chevy Nova, and I was proud of that little car. And she talked with me, and I told her that my mom's birthday was that day. And when I dropped her off at the airport, she called my mother and wished her happy birthday. So I'll never forget that. And I've seen Susan many times throughout my career. So when I saw her in Harlem, and she was sitting there with a couple of Hollywood actresses, and she says to me, she says, "Are you ready to fly?" I'm like, what? She says, "Are you ready to spread your wings and fly?" This is Susan Taylor, one of the most powerful women at the time in black media. And I said, well, hell yeah. Yes, I'm ready to fly. Yes, I am ready to fly. Where are we flying to? And she said, they are looking for an editor-in-chief. Essence was looking for an editor-in-chief, and she wanted me to apply. Wow. I wanted to pee in my pants right there. Who says that? Where does that happen? And I flew back to Houston on a high. I was on a cloud 9. The editor of Essence, founding editor of Essence magazines wanted me to apply for that job. Wow. And so I went through the initial process, talking to people by phone, submitted a proposal of how I would do it, edit, all that kind of stuff. But again, that recurring feeling of being overcommitted, overworked, underpaid, all that kind of stuff started rearing up again. And I ended up in my bathroom floor, doubled over in pain. My colon had stopped functioning. Now, when your colon stops functioning, you cannot function, and it's extremely painful. That moves everything through. And a doctor had given me a high dose of antibiotics and steroids over a period of a month to clear up a sinus infection. And it was too much for my body to take. I ended up in intensive care for 2 weeks. And at that point, that was the first time that I nearly died. And it took a while for me to recover from that. And I came out, and I tried to go back to work, and I ended up back on my floor with 104-degree temperature. My body was shaking violently, and my dad was holding me in his arms, and he whispered to me as we were waiting for the ambulance, and he said, "You're supposed to outlive me, Joy. This is your daddy. You're supposed to outlive me." Now, when your father tells you that, even when you are not feeling well, you hear that. And I recovered. And I eventually wrote Susan Taylor a note back, and I want to read you what she wrote back to me. "Dear Joy, it is so good to know that you are healing. The Holy Spirit lays the body down when your body, mind, and soul need to rest. God does bring us to whatever is needed to awaken us. Self-care is all of our lesson to learn well. All is well in divine order. Take care, dear Joy. Sending light and love, Susan." That's beautiful. If you have any kind of life goals, speak it, say it. Let you hear it from your voice. Tell people, tell your friends, share it. Because when you speak it, it becomes real. You can write it on paper, and I do, but when you say it, and you say it over and over and over again, you believe it. And I believed it was my year of joy. I claimed the hashtag, some people had it before, but it's not now, okay? I claimed the hashtag, I told my friends, I shared it with anybody who I could think of. I posted photos and inspirational stuff on my Instagram and put Year of Joy. And guess what? People started responding to me, like, "I like that Year of Joy." And that was great. It made me feel good. So I'm going to kind of talk to you through some of the things that have happened, the wonderful things that have happened to me since I declared the Year of Joy. The first thing is that you're not always going to have positive things happen. I received a property tax bill of $2,000 more than what my property taxes were the year before. Now, any of you who own a home in Harris County know that property taxes have gone up. And previously to this, I would have freaked out. How am I going to do this? I haven't had a raise. Where is this money going to come from? I can't get on a pole anymore. Sorry, it's just but I had to trust the process. 2 weeks later, a girlfriend who is in PR and marketing and a corporate journalist contacted me with a project she wanted me to do. And she paid me $1,000. Wow, that's halfway there. Around that time, around my birthday, and I have several things I'm going to go through. So it's around my birthday, and I hadn't taken a trip for my birthday in years. I don't know why I didn't celebrate my birthday. I just, I see people doing it all the time, but my birthday comes, I'm like, I just want to keep it quiet and just go get through the day and not have to talk about it. But this time, I'm like, yeah, I want to celebrate. I want to go somewhere. I don't want to be in Houston. Okay. So, and I needed to go someplace cheap. Out of the blue, the Chronicle gives me the Editor's Award. I had never won an award at the Chronicle, ever. I worked my butt off. You know that. And I never won an award from them, from the Chronicle. And I was voted on by my peers. And I won $250. Wow, I'm getting closer and closer. You see this? See where I'm going? And it was fantastic. And another thing that happened was, okay, so my love life sucked prior to Year of Joy. It was non-existent. I went on one bad date last year in 2015 and swore that I got 2 dogs, I got a house, I got my family, I got my friends, I'm good. I don't need all that. Okay, I'm good. I ran into a girlfriend at a luncheon and she said, how's your love life? Oh God, here we go again. And I explained to her what I just told you. And she said, I want you to try online dating. I'm like, no, I can't do it. I said, I'm too public. Like, no, stalkers, no, they're crazy people. It's like, no. And she's older than me and a professor and very together. And she met her husband on there. And she said, Joy, I just want you to try it. 1 month. Give it 1 month. Just think of it like Facebook. Like you play on Facebook, think of it like Facebook. I'm like, no, it's not the same. And she said, no, just try it. And she said, I will help you. So I wrote my profile, and it was 15 pages. Because I'm a writer, and I know how to make things sound good. And she looked at it, and she's like, cut it down to 1 paragraph, and then a simple. They need it in bulleted form. This is what I like, this is what I do, this is where you find me, period. Okay? So I did that. I had a bunch of pictures. She's like, no, cut it down to 2 pictures, 1 headshot, and don't use your corporate headshot. Use a nice little shot like you're somewhere and you smile. And she said, and then use a second shot, a full-length shot, because men need to know what they're working with. And I said, okay, all right, I surrendered. It's a Year of Joy. I'm going to try it. I'm going to be open. I tried it. 3 weeks in, well, I will say this. The first 24 hours, I got 500 messages. And links and this and that and all that. By the 3rd week, and she had told me to go out with as many people as I can. And I didn't do that. I talked to 2 people on the phone, and it just was not a connection. And then I met my boyfriend. The last week. The last week of that month, I met him. And last month, we went on a trip to the Dominican Republic for a week. So that was part of my Year of Joy. Another thing is, while I was in the Dominican Republic, I wore a bikini. Now, I know some of you are rocking the bikinis on your Instagram page and all that kind of stuff, but for me, that was a big deal. Now, what's even more of a big deal is that I was photographed in one. Because prior to my trip to the Dominican Republic, I had 1 picture on this earth of me in a bikini, 1 that existed in this world. And I was 24 years old, and I was in Chicago, and my girlfriend, was wrapped in a blanket, and she grabbed the blanket, and she snapped a picture of me. That's how I have that 1 picture. So, I'm in the Dominican Republic, it's the Year of Joy, I got my bikini on, I'm in the Caribbean, and I pose, and I strike it. And I posted it, which I would never do before the Year of Joy. I posted that picture. And I had a girlfriend call me, my friend from San Francisco, and she said, the best compliment ever. Not that you're beautiful, not that you're pretty. She said, you look strong. You look strong. And I think where I've been 5 years ago, for someone to say that you look strong was so powerful to me. Year of Joy. I mean, I'm getting tongue-tied here, but there are a couple other things that happened. I decided that I would write about more things that touched my spirit. Not that, you know, fall fashion trends and hot shoes and cute clothes and what the latest fitness trend is. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But I'm a journalist. I'm a creative person, and I need that feeling of connecting to the source of who I'm writing about. And I've been blessed to write about people like Debbie and Yvonne, but I needed more. And so I found a couple of articles. One in particular was a young woman who, her name was Lacey. I don't know if anybody knows her in here. But she was born to a black mother, a white father. Her mother gave her up for adoption. She was adopted by a one-armed gay man, moved to Vidor, Texas, home with KKK roots. She was raised white. He died when she was 7. She was raised by the white family, goes to college, has 3 black roommates, and they basically say, girl, your hair, no. There's something black somewhere. She went looking for her roots. She met her mother. Her mother was my friend. And so I meet Lacey in hospice when her mother was dying. That's the first time, because I'd heard about Lacey. And I had this connection with her daughter, and ended up writing the story. That story was so powerful to me, and I don't know if anybody read it, and I don't really care. But those are the kind of things that I really wanted to do more of. So, this Year of Joy, I've been trying to do that. Another thing is that I was appointed to the Super Bowl Media Committee. Now, I know that doesn't sound like much, but the Super Bowl is coming, that's big. And I don't even know what it means. I went to one meeting and I was just happy to be there. And the last time I covered Super Bowl in Houston was, I was with People magazine. And I was the one chasing Janet Jackson around after she showed me. That was insane. So if it's half of that, I'm all for it. Yeah. Another thing is that let's see. Oh, this was a bad one, but actually it's a good one. So, not all A Year of Joy can have highlights, but there are lessons here. I had a car accident. I actually ran in the back of a guy. I ran right back in, ran into him. I was rushed into an event where I was on a panel. It was hot, it was during the middle of the day, it was in the Galleria, and you know that construction over there and all that traffic can be crazy. And I thought he moved, and I proceeded to go. Bam, right in the back of him. And I'm thinking, oh my God. And he gets out of the car and he looks. And finally I just said, I'm sorry, I was just trying to get out, I'm just trying to get to my event. I'm sorry I didn't see you. He said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. He said, I can fix this. And I kept talking. I'm sorry, I really did that. He's like, don't worry about it. He said, I got it. Go. I'm like, what? And he said, go, it's okay. You don't have to worry about it. I'm like, can I hug you? I hugged an older white man in the middle of San Felipe and 610 at noon, rush hour, and I held on to him. Okay? He was like, it's okay. And I thanked him about 100 times, and I got in my car and thanked him even more. Year of Joy. Year of Joy. Okay, so I had talked to Debbie about this. She goes to Sedona all the time. And she comes back all zen and happy and peaceful and namaste. And, you know, I'm like, I want to go to Sedona. Guess what? I'm going to Sedona in October. I'm going to hike the Grand Canyon, hopefully. I have tried to get the Grand Canyon twice. And I've scheduled trips, and every time I scheduled a trip, we had a hurricane that hits Houston, and they shut down the airport. No lie. I booked 2 trips to the Grand Canyon, and every time it was Hurricane Rita, and then I don't know what else. It was right around that time. So I'm going to the Grand Canyon, and I'm going to go to Sedona to meditate and find myself.
Yeah.